welcome back to the second half of tonight's RWL Rage in Tucson, Arizona. Don Hickson here, along with Christy Ogilvie and Myron Schimmelman. The second half is going to be, as they say, off the chain, including in our main event, the United States title being defended by Macho Man Randy Savage against former Rage television champion, the German technician Stefan von Berg of the Stronghold.
Plus 2 tag matches, one for the gents and one for the ladies.
And Christy, as we get that second hour underway, let's talk about that ladies tag match first. It's going to be the future endeavor Dakota Kai and Blair Davenport facing Los Reinas, Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera.
And we're also going to see primetime Bobby Mills in singles action. And while we're on that subject, MJ Ferrantino's going to be okay. But he is straight seething backstage about the unholy trinity.
Welcome back, fans. Our second half opening match, a ladies tag, scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, representing the future endeavor, both hailing from New Zealand, Dakota Kai and Blair Davenport.
And in the long list of ladies despised by the fans, Gigi Dolan, Carmella, Blair Davenport, and Dakota Kai seem to top that list lately. Talented? Yes. Popular? I don't think so.
Their opponents, along with women's international champion Angie Angel Guns, from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Josie Rod, and Lisa Rivera, they are Los Reinas.
On the flip side, Los Reinas are the newest ladies tag we've got. And no kidding, they've definitely got some attention in their last couple of matches, especially against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And this will be their first serious encounter with the future endeavored, who in turn have almost no idea about the Guns family dynasty, of which Los Reinas are proud members. This one's gonna generate some sparks, and probably more buzz for Josie and Lisa.
Well, they're definitely getting buzz, that's for sure. They are attractive. Exceptionally attractive, and as members of the Gun family dynasty, extremely competent inside the squared circle.
They'd best be paying full attention in there against Dakota and Blair Davenport, because they're definitely not going to play it straight. And as for the future endeavored, they're probably about to find out that these two New Yorican ladies aren't above a little dirty fighting themselves.
With the size chosen up, it'll be Blair Davenport and Lisa Rivera starting us off in this ladies tag team match. As referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell, the ladies come center. Blair Davenport opens up on Lisa Rivera with a series of shots and an uppercut that takes her down to the canvas. Blair Davenport with a hard kick to the midsection and a stomp to the back of the head of Lisa. Blair Davenport from behind, German suplex. Lisa Rivera rounded up to a standing position. A hard forearm from Blair Davenport. Nails Lisa with a clothesline, follows it up with a second, gathers her back up and follows it up with a third wrist clutch clothesline as Blair Davenport turns it over to Dakota Kai. Lisa Rivera just about getting to her feet and opens up on Dakota Kai with a series of shots and whoa, slams her down firmly. Lisa Rivera goes to work on a down Dakota Kai. Dakota rounded up again by Lisa Rivera. Has her up. Whoa! High angle backbreaker. And here comes Josie Rod as Angie Angel Guns watches her grandnieces working it out here. Dakota Kai trying to deal with both of them. Catches a knee to the head from Josie and down she goes like a chopped down tree. Josie covers, hooks the leg. Whoa! Only just a one. Josie Rod returns to work on Dakota Kai, measuring it, and oh, what a knee right to the head. Josie gets the leg swept by Dakota Kai. Josie locks her up, takes her over to the far corner, smashes her head straight into the turnbuckle. And now a series of driving shoulders into the midsection of Dakota Kai, followed up with another kick, and yet another. And now into it. Well, here we go. As you pointed out, Christy, Los Reinas definitely know how to get dirty if they have to. Josie Rivera Rallying the fans here in Tucson for a little bit of support as Blair Davenport is brought in on the tag. Delivers a kick to Josie. Josie counters with a right. Takes her down with a clothesline. Josie Rivera rounds up Blair Davenport. Locks her up. Hard Irish whip to the ropes. Here's a duck under. And whoa! Blair Davenport puts a stop on that one. Drives a knee into Josie's midsection. Locks her up. Spinning neckbreaker from Blair Davenport. A hard right from Josie, a third, and a wicked kick, taking Blair Davenport down to the mat. Josie gathers Davenport back up, another hard right, takes her right down, and here comes Lisa Rivera. Blair Davenport reeling on the outside. Lisa going after Dakota Kai. Drags her in, drapes her over the top rope, nails her with a hard right as Davenport makes her way back inside the ring. Locks up Lisa Rivera, hard Irish whip to the ropes. Here's a duck under from Davenport. Here's a clothesline counter from Lisa Rivera. Lisa rounds her up, a big time knee to the face for Blair Davenport as Josie Rod is tagged in again. Las Reinas currently, a drop kick that takes Davenport down hard. Las Reinas clearly in control at the present time. Josie has her all the way up, but Blair Davenport counters, delivers a chop block to the back of the knee of Josie. Locks her up, whips her towards the Future Endeavor's corner. Here comes Dakota Kai on the tag. And here comes a double knees to the back of Josie Rivera as Dakota Kai takes over, delivers a couple of hard kicks to the leg. Here's a snapmare from Dakota, takes her down. And look at this, stepping on the hair. That is just ruthless. Dakota Kai and Blair Davenport have demonstrated extreme hostility towards the RWL ladies. Here's a snap suplex from Dakota Kai. Blair Davenport brought in on the tag. Josie rolls out, brings herself back in, opens up with a series of rights and kicks. She's got Blair Davenport up, and look at this. Dakota Kai messing things up for her own team as Josie takes her out onto the apron to teach her a lesson. Drops her right on the lip of the apron, allowing gravity to do all the work as Blair Davenport goes after Lisa Rivera. Probably not a good thing to do. Josie right there behind her. Goes behind in the rear waist lock. Has her up. Knee breaker. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. Just barely a 2. Blair Davenport kicking out of that one. And Josie absolutely berating Blair Davenport. Davenport brought up very slowly. A discus punch takes Davenport right back down again. Josie tags her with a double axe handle across the back. Davenport rounded up again. Josie whips her into her team's corner. Hard kick to the midsection. And wow, right across the eyes, across the top rope. Josie rounds her up. Hard right hand takes her down hard center ring. Goes for the cover, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. And would you get a look at that? Las Reinas win this matchup by pinfall.
Here's the time, 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And your winners, Las Reinas.
I'm not exactly sure which it would be, whether they just hang their heads in shame or perhaps walk around backstage with paper bags over their heads, but the Future Endeavor absolutely humiliated here by Las Reinas. Josie and Lisa absolutely destroying Blair Davenport and Dakota Kai in just about 5 minutes and change.
I'm like, wow, I knew they were good. I just didn't understand that they were quite that good.
That was pure talent. Josie and Lisa picked up on Blair and Dakota going out of their way to try and inflict pain and damage, and it was like, out of nowhere, Las Reinas erupted on them, fighting fire with fire, and really opening up with some hard attacks.
Las Reinas racking up another tag team win, and we'll be right back with more Rage right after this.
Coming up next, this is one that, well, the masked lucha star El Vigigante will be going one-on-one against one of the guys that just chair shot the crap out of MJ Ferrantino in the first half, primetime Bobby Mills.
Yeah, Ferrantino and Snitsky, they got a little bit bruised up, but they're gonna be okay. But oi, is Ferrantino mad.
You can hardly blame the man, Myron. I mean, Bob Duncombe won his match. There was no need for that unwarranted poor sportsmanship.
This next match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Approaching the ring from Loaiza, Puerto Rico, weighing 206 pounds, El Gigante.
The masked cruiserweight up-and-comer, having lost his last match to Kushida recently, is back and looking for a win this evening against primetime Bobby Mills.
And when you look at what primetime, along with the rest of his unholy Trinity bunch, did to Snitsky and Ferrantino, I'd be extra wary if I were El Gigante. But for now, let's assume we're gonna see a straight match from both opponents, and if that's the case, El Gigante can run circles around primetime and lay in a bunch of high-impact moves on the guy. Although, it wouldn't shock anyone for primetime to reach into this nasty little bag of tricks.
I don't think Primetime's gonna try that again tonight. The Unholy Trinity ain't gonna press their luck with the front office.
His opponent, representing the Unholy Trinity, from Pineville, West Virginia, weighing 243 pounds, primetime, Bobby Mills.
And appearing this time without Big Bob Duncombe or Dirty Dutch Mantell. Is he trying to play innocent, or is it an act of arrogance? I'm not sure which, but primetime Bobby Mills undeniably wailed on Gene Snitsky with a steel chair, while Big Bob Duncombe worked on MJ Ferrantino.
I'm pretty sure Dutch Mantell and his boys made the biggest mistake. They have humped hell, and sooner or later, they're gonna pay for it.
And indeed, the Unholy Trinity has certainly demonstrated their willingness to win a match by any means necessary, and they have certainly shown it this evening. Primetime Bobby Mills getting an extremely cool reception based on his earlier appearance in the first half.
You hit the nail right on the head, Don. It was very poor sportsmanship. Not that I think the Unholy Trinity cares very much about that. No, Don, they're only gonna make things worse for themselves. I know we've got people that bend and break rules in this business, but in this case, the match was done. Duncombe got the pinfall win, and even then, they went ahead and did that stupidness.
The official sounds the bell. They come center ring. A backbreaker from primetime Bobby Mills on El Gigante, misses with the kick. El Gigante back up on his feet into a headlock and a headlock punch on primetime, and down he goes. El Gigante rounds up primetime Mills again. Hard whip to the far corner. With his back turned, El Gigante turns him around so he can see what's going to happen. Primetime counters with a kick and a clothesline that takes El Gigante down to the canvas. Primetime Bobby Mills with El Gigante up over the shoulder. Look at this, an airplane spin. There's a move we do not see all too often, and down goes El Gigante again as primetime Bobby Mills rounds him up. El Gigante counters with a kick to the leg. Primetime countering with an elbow. A little do the hustle here, a kick to the midsection from El Gigante, a counter kick, and whoa, primetime Bobby Mills with a little bit of Olay slipping right past El Gigante, who winds up on the outside as the referee begins to count. Primetime misses with the double X handle, catches an elbow from El Gigante. Primetime Mills rounded up again, driven into the ring steps by the Puerto Rican masked sensation. Oh, primetime counters with a clothesline on El Gigante. Mills rounds him up again, drives him into the ring steps a second time. Well, there we go. That bag of tricks you alluded to, Christy. There it is, a third trip into the ring steps for El Gigante. And all pretenses of politeness are gone here. Primetime Bobby Mills with a chop across the chest. El Gigante counters with one of his own drives. Primetime into the ring steps too. Instant retaliation here. El Gigante locks it up, gets shoved down to the floor. Primetime Bobby Mills rounds him up again. The referee continuing to count, driven into the ring steps yet again by primetime Bobby Mills. El Gigante starting to lose ground here to Primetime. As he shoves towards the timekeeper's area, he moves quickly back towards the ring, quickly back inside, and Primetime tags him with a hard right. Primetime Bobby Mills, oozing confidence at the present time. Elva Gigante on the outside apron. Primetime Bobby Mills tries to bring him in the hard way, but woohoo, forget about that. That's not happening. Elva Gigante counters. Rounds up Primetime Bobby Mills, a chop across the chest. Primetime whips him to the far corner. Elva Gigante counters with an elbow, has him up into a bear hug. Well, now, how about this? Something new's been added. The referee checking things out. Primetime Bobby Mills, resorting to desperation maneuvers to save himself, elbows across the chest, a double ear clap. Finally breaks the hold, but Elva Gigante rounds him up again into a snap mare. And now, twisting the head. Oh, look at this. Primetime Bobby Mills getting back up on his feet, delivers a hard shot to the midsection of Elva Gigante. He's got him all the way up for the vertical suplex, almost tangled in the ropes. Primetime Bobby Mills gathers up Elva Gigante again, counter elbow to the skull, and a running shoulder tackle that takes Primetime down, a stomp to the midsection. Elva Gigante with an inverted suplex that was really, really nice. Elva Gigante takes himself all the way to the top turnbuckle, drives a knee right into the head of Primetime Bobby Mills, follows it up with a stomp. Elva Gigante winds him up. Primetime counters with an elbow from behind. And again into the bear hug a second time. Elva Gigante trying to wear down Primetime Bobby Mills, and he's not escaping right away when these things happen. Elva Gigante releasing the hold. Primetime back up on his feet again. A clothesline takes down Elva Gigante, a second one. Primetime Bobby Mills rounds him up into a power slam just about center ring. Primetime rounds him up again. Elva Gigante whipped to the corner. Primetime Bobby Mills catches a kick to the midsection from Elva Gigante and a clothesline that drops it. Whoa. Both these guys experiencing some degree of fatigue, but Elva Gigante rallying the fans here in Tucson for a little extra support. A kick right to the chest, a second, a third. Whoa. Primetime comes shooting out of that corner. A clothesline from Elva Gigante followed up with a second one. Swing and a miss from Primetime, and a beautiful elbow that drops Primetime to the canvas again. Back up on his feet, follows up with a clothesline. And this one's getting pretty wild. For a third time, Elva Gigante locking in a bear hug on Primetime Bobby Mills, and maybe trying to get himself a tap-out win over Primetime. Another series of elbows from Mills. Another double ear clap, and Elva Gigante. Whoa, look at this. These guys matching each other move for move as Primetime finds himself on the outside unexpectedly. Elva Gigante rolled back inside the ring by Primetime Bobby Mills. Elva Gigante whips him to the far corner. Oh man, look at this. Pitch to the outside. Elva Gigante gonna go right out after him too. What's he got in mind here? Whoa, look at the, whoa, holy old hell, did you see that? Through the ropes into a DDT, and the fans are loving it. Primetime back up on his feet with a kick to the midsection of Elva Gigante, smashed head first into the apron. Oh man. Primetime and Elva Gigante both in the ring simultaneously, and for a fourth time, another bear hug attempt from Elva Gigante. Primetime Bobby Mills has gone home with a really sore back tonight. Look at this. Elva Gigante releasing the hold. Comes back out. Going after Primetime. Bobby Mills goes behind. Primetime counters with an elbow. Gets a hold of Elva Gigante. Has him up over the shoulder. Back body drop. And Primetime Bobby Mills looks to be fading. Primetime pitches Elva Gigante towards the ring steps, but doesn't quite make it there. Mills rounds up Elva Gigante, kick to the midsection, and a DDT on the floor on the outside as the referee continues to count. Primetime Bobby Mills trying to get a little bit of fan support here. Good luck with that one. That ain't happening. Prime Time. Countered by El Vejigante with a knee to the midsection. And a nasty belly-to-belly suplex from the masked Puerto Rican sensation. Again, driven into the ring steps by Primetime Bobby Mills, but taken down in the process. Both men in pretty rough shape at the moment. El Vejigante back to his feet first. Rounds up Primetime Bobby Mills. Pitches him towards the ring steps and doesn't quite make it. El Vejigante rounds up Primetime again. Gets him back inside the ring, and finally, we might get this match wrapped up at some point. Primetime misses with the jumping neckbreaker big time. El Vejigante spins him around. Hard whip towards the corner. El Vejigante with a kick to the chest of Primetime Bobby Mills. And brought out of the corner the hard way with an alley-oop. El Vejigante whips Primetime to the outside, out onto the floor, and here he comes in hot pursuit right after Primetime Bobby Mills. El Vejigante rolling his prey back inside the ring, apparently. Primetime Bobby Mills in big time trouble. Oh, Vejigante trying for the bear hug again, but Primetime says, oh no, I've had quite enough of that, thank you. Primetime rolls to the outside with El Vejigante. A clothesline. Takes the masked wrestler down. A chop across the chest from Primetime Bobby Mills, countered by El Vejigante. The neckbreaker countered by Primetime. Vejigante rolls him back inside the ring. Primetime Bobby Mills struggling to get to his feet. A double axe handle takes him right back down again. A fireman's carry from Primetime. Mills rounds up El Vejigante, tries for the neckbreaker, doesn't get it. And El Vejigante, escorting Primetime towards the far corner, smashes his head into the buckle, but Primetime counters quickly. Front slam from Primetime Bobby Mills. El Vejigante with a hard Irish whip to the ropes, and oh, what a kick right to the head. Down one, Primetime. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3, and you can count to 400. He is out. El Vejigante wins this one by pinfall.
Here's the time, exactly 10 minutes, and your winner, El Vejigante.
Well, there you go. El Vejigante needed a win, and he got one. It was a rough match, and Primetime, Primetime fought. But El Vejigante definitely had his number for most of the match. Really impressive performance. Looking forward to seeing what El Vejigante has in store for us next.
That got pretty intense, yeah. Neither one of them is gonna wake up too happy, but at least El Vejigante has a win over Primetime to comfort himself with. Mills was going out of his way to do damage, slamming Vejigante into those ring steps over and over again. No way is that not gonna leave some pretty nasty bruises.
Yeah, but Vejigante got the win.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we've got tag team competition. It's the Vandal Brothers, Swanton J and Vicious Ace, and it looks like they're not going to allow Primetime Bobby Mills to leave the ring.
Remember when I said he was going to get his sooner or later? It looks like sooner is here.
Primetime trying to slip his way past Swanton J and Vicious Ace, but nothing to... Oh! Hard shot right to the face. J and Ace out here to gather some retribution for MJ Ferrantino, their manager. And all the numbers game is guaranteed to get Primetime Bobby Mills. There's no way he's going to survive against the 666 pounds of combined weight of Swanton J and Vicious Ace, especially after a 10-minute match with El Vejigante.
Well, good night, Walt. We didn't need a referee for this anyway.
Indeed, referee Walt Rothburn, powerless to stop the Vandal Brothers. He is little more than just the fifth post in the middle of the ring.
I'd like to be able to say I feel sorry for old Primetime. But did you people know that our next RWL Supercard, Hotter Than July, starts Monday night, July 28th, right here on this channel? Well, now you do, and let your girl Christy tell you. It's gonna be 3 straight hours of just incredible RWL mat action, with some seriously important matchups. Old scores will be settled, and new ones will be born, as the Sweet Revenge Summer Tour rolls on. There. I squeezed an S little plug for that show. And you'll probably see a lot of stuff like this too. Maybe Primetime is sorry. He looks like he might not do this ever again.
He may never do anything ever again.
A moment for primetime Bobby Mills, the late John Lennon would have referred to as instant karma. The Vandal brothers rolling out here after the match to settle the score with primetime Bobby Mills and send a solid warning to the unholy trinity. My gut feeling says there's going to be a whole lot more of this coming. Ladies and gentlemen, more RWL Snarl and a big-time tag team match when we return from the break. Nice advertisement, Christy.
Thanks, Donnie baby. Back in a flash, y'all.
Just a quick reminder, fans, that the ongoing Sweet Revenge Summer Tour's next Supercard is only about a week away, so be sure to join us for HTJ. RWL presents the Hotter Than July Supercard, beginning Monday, July 28th, here on the RWL YouTube channel.
Well, on the last edition of Snarl, we discovered the reason behind the secret meetings with Ted DiBiase, JBL, and Hangman Tex Lynch when we saw Money Incorporated V2 appear for the first time to battle the Sectarians.
And we got a special treat tonight as JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, and the $1 Million Man appear here tonight on Rage, facing AJ Hawk and Boston Connor of the Toxic Table with Hangman Tex Lynch at ringside.
Dag Myron. You just love playing with those Toxic Table guys.
It's a thing.
This next tag team match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring, both from parts unknown, combined weight, also unknown, AJ Hawk and Boston Connor, the Toxic Table.
Time for Timu Sammartino and the Hamburglar. The Toxic Table, Boston Connor, and AJ Hawk. Hey, they keep signing the matches. I'm going to keep making the deals.
Most certainly, Boston Connor and AJ Hawk have provided a great deal of entertainment to RWL fans as they are subjected week after week to matches that are near impossible.
And they always make them feel big by saying, well, Boston defeated the Big Boss Man in his debut match. I mean, that's a big deal, isn't it?
And, somehow, they never seem to realize they're getting hooked by you, huh? Definitely not the sharpest tools in the shed. And you just keep on sticking it to them.
I'm not sticking anything to them. I'm giving them exactly what they want. They want good matches. I give it to them. They just don't win.
Their opponents, led to the ring by Snarl General Manager Hangman Tex Lynch, at a combined weight of 456 pounds, the team of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and John Bradshaw Layfield, Money Incorporated V2.
Hangman Tex Lynch becoming something of a master at the art of the deal. How do you assemble JBL and the $1 Million Man and yourself, a Memphis Million winner? As Money Incorporated V2, it doesn't matter. Somehow this seems to work out. And wow, this team already defeated Papa Shango the Boogeyman, and I don't think they're going to be defeated this evening by the Toxic Table.
Donnie, they got a better shot at hitting the lottery and being struck by lightning on the same day.
Bet. Put my money on Texas team.
The Toxic Table set to face Money Incorporated version 2 with AJ Hawk and the $1 Million Man, starting off this particular tag team matchup. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. DiBiase opens up with a right, gets a hold of AJ Hawk, vertical suplex, and the $1 Million Man follows up with a stomp to the head. Ted DiBiase gathers up AJ Hawk, gets a hold of him, whips him to his team's corner, and headlock punch. Drives AJ Hawk out of the corner, a double axe handle, takes him down to the canvas, and the $1 Million Man going for an early pin 1, and just barely a 1. Ted DiBiase, deftly leaping over AJ Hawk, takes himself all the way up to the top turnbuckle in the far corner. Awaiting AJ Hawk to reach a standing position here, and whoa! A diving elbow to a standing AJ Hawk takes him down to the canvas. The $1 Million Man whips him back to, JBL with a cheap shot. Leaves A.J. Hawk in the corner. He finds his way out quickly. Gets a hold of Ted DiBiase. Hard whip to his team's corner, the Toxic Tables corner. And what? Whoa, just yanking on the arm of the $1 Million Man. A.J. Hawk slams DiBiase's head into the turnbuckle. A.J. Hawk driving shoulders into the midsection of the $1 Million Man. And now putting all his weight into those stomps on the chest of Ted DiBiase. A.J. Hawk rounds him up again. Whips him right back into the corner a second time. Here comes Boston Connor on the tag. And here's a double team, a double X handle across the arm of Ted DiBiase. DiBiase gets a Hurricane Rana from Boston Connor. Boston Connor believing he's got this one firmly under control. DiBiase making his way to the corner, tags in JBL while Boston Connor is showboating. Boston Connor with a Russian leg sweep on John Bradshaw Layfield. Layfield catching a stretching from an armbar. Boston Connor going after the $1 Million Man as well. Takes himself to the outside. Out onto the apron, smashes DiBiase into the lip of the apron. Hangman takes Lynch. Watching his team very intently. JBL whips Boston Connor to the ropes. Ducks under. Makes the leapfrog. Here he comes again. And whoa! Back body drop for Boston Connor. Boston Connor gathered up by JBL. And a spine buster. A one-arm spine buster from John Bradshaw Layfield. Makes his way to the top turnbuckle in the far corner. Here we go. Oh, drives a knee right into the head of Boston Connor. Covers hooks the leg. One. But, oh, A.J. Hawk right there to break that pin up. Boston Connor being worked on by John Bradshaw Layfield. JBL working on the arm of Boston Connor. And Boston Connor getting his head beaten into the canvas by JBL. Followed up with a stomp to the midsection. A wind-up elbow right to the back of the head of Boston Connor. He rolls out to the floor, and JBL takes out A.J. Hawk as well. Both members of the Toxic Table in big trouble. JBL drops an elbow from 10 feet up off the top turnbuckle on A.J. Hawk. Turns his attention to Boston Connor. Slams his head down to the floor. Connor back up with a wraparound DDT on John Bradshaw Layfield. Layfield makes his way towards... Oh! Well, down goes A.J. Hawk again. JBL working on both members of the Toxic Table as Boston Connor goes after the $1 Million Man here. Goes back out to the outside apron again. And once more slams DiBiase into the lip of the apron. Hangman takes Lynch backing off. He's not going to get directly involved. He's going to let these guys do what they have to do. JBL smashes Boston Connor's head into the turnbuckle. A series of hard right hands from John Bradshaw Layfield. And an alley-oop out of the corner for Boston Connor. JBL. A little display of arrogance of his own as A.J. Hawk comes in. A clothesline takes JBL down to the canvas. A.J. Hawk opens up with a series of shots. A hard punch to the midsection. JBL whipped to the ropes. A.J. Hawk misses with the clothesline. JBL gets a hold of him. Slams his back into the turnbuckle and hurls him towards center ring. John Bradshaw Layfield going to work on A.J. Hawk. He decides to take it out of here and turns it over to the $1 Million Man on the tag, Ted DiBiase. Whoa! A.J. Hawk just shoving him away. And he flew. Here's a cover. One. Only just the one. The $1 Million Man powering out of that pin easily. A.J. Hawk with a moonsault headbutt. How about this right here? A.J. Hawk with a modicum of talent, obviously, but probably not enough to deal with Money Incorporated D2. Here comes JBL on the tag. Look at this. Boot right to the face. As JBL takes control, and woohoo, the crowd's going nuts here. As Boston Connor comes in on the tag, charges, takes down JBL with an elbow. Rounds up JBL hard. Forearm takes him down to the canvas. JBL in trouble here as Boston Connor works on the leg of John Bradshaw Layfield. The toxic table trying to battle back here, but JBL going for a quick pin. 1, 2, oh, barely gets it 2. Boston Connor finds his way out of trouble here. A rolling elbow across the chest. A second one. John Bradshaw Layfield with a third. Man. John Bradshaw Layfield rounds up Boston Connor. Hard whip to the corner. A cheap shot from DiBiase leaves Boston Connor in a seated position in the corner. And out he comes via the alley-oop from JBL. John Bradshaw Layfield takes himself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. And here we go, another elbow drop that doesn't connect. Boston Connor getting out of the way just in the nick of time here. Whips JBL to the ropes, ducks under. Makes the leapfrog and a drop toe hold. Takes JBL down to the canvas. Boston Connor covers, hooks the leg. 1. Only a 1. John Bradshaw Layfield slowly making his way back to a standing position here as Boston Connor winds up the arm, and here's a Russian leg sweep for Boston Connor. Boston Connor definitely steps over. Here's an arm drag. A hard right to the head of JBL. A kick to the midsection and a DDT from Boston Connor. Boston Connor tags in AJ Hawk. JBL struggling to make his way back to a standing position here as AJ Hawk locks him up. Whips him to the ropes. Misses with the shoulder. John Bradshaw Layfield going to make him pay for that mistake. JBL rounds up AJ Hawk. He counters with a kick to the midsection. Moves in. Connects with the shoulder that time. And here comes the $1 Million Man on the hot tag. Ted DiBiase takes him down with an elbow. AJ Hawk rolls out to the floor. There goes Boston Connor again. The $1 Million Man takes himself all the way up to the top rope and drops another elbow across the chest of AJ Hawk. The $1 Million Man probably not used to fan support on this level, but there it is. Neckbreaker to AJ Hawk. The $1 Million Man gathers up AJ Hawk on the outside. Smashes him towards the, oh, he put on the brakes real quick. $1 Million Man makes his way back inside the ring. So does AJ Hawk. They lock it up. The $1 Million Man has him up in the front cradle. Up over the shoulder. Hung up off the top rope and down he goes. AJ Hawk rounded up again. Ted DiBiase with a spinning neckbreaker. Ted DiBiase rounds up AJ Hawk again. Whips him to the Money Incorporated corner. A hard shot to the midsection on knee. Another and a third. Oh, man. Oh, biting the face of AJ Hawk. And here comes JBL. Hangman takes Lynch, making no apologies for the way these guys work. John Bradshaw Layfield gets a hold of AJ Hawk. Counter whip to the ropes. A head-on collision. They lock up. JBL counter whipped again. A clothesline by AJ Hawk takes down John Bradshaw Layfield. JBL sweeps the leg, takes him down. Here comes the $1 Million Man on the tag. AJ Hawk laid out near center ring. Ted DiBiase nailing that $1 Million Man fist drop as only he can do it. Boom! 3 shots right to the head of AJ Hawk. The $1 Million Man covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. As close to a near fall as we've come so far in this matchup. The $1 Million Man rounds up AJ Hawk again. Whips him towards the far corner. And now yanking the arm of AJ Hawk against those ropes. Ted DiBiase rounds him up and just Beal tosses him halfway across the ring right onto his back. Ted DiBiase with another spinning neckbreaker on AJ Hawk. Ted DiBiase with a stomp to the midsection. What are we going to see here? Oh, look at this. Here's a possible submission. Referee Walt Rothburn checking things out. Oh, AJ Hawk almost tapped out. The $1 Million Man releasing the hold and looking supremely confident. The toxic table rapidly losing control of this one. Swing and a miss clothesline from AJ Hawk, followed up by a stomp from the $1 Million Man. AJ Hawk counters with a shot to the midsection, walks up Ted DiBiase. has him up in the front cradle and just scoop slams him. Basic but effective. And here comes Boston Connor on the tag as the $1 Million Man makes his way to a standing position on the outside apron. Connor goes after JBL, the $1 Million Man, back inside the ring. Boston Connor whips him to the ropes, makes the duck under, makes the leapfrog. Here comes the $1 Million Man, and whoa, look at this. Oh, what a suplex. Belly to back from Boston Connor. Boston Connor snaps the leg of the $1 Million Man. DiBiase back up on his feet, catches a right from A.J. Hawk, gets a hold of the trunk, snap suplex center ring. Boston Connor moves in again on the $1 Million Man, drives a knee into his back. Ted DiBiase in a little bit of trouble here as Boston Connor tries to twist his head off like a bottle cap. Slams his head down to the canvas. And now another armbar from Boston Connor. Boston Connor makes his way towards the top turn. JBL says, oh, no, you don't. And down he went, Hangman Tex Lynch. Regarding the fallen Boston Connor as JBL delivers a stomp to the head of Boston Connor, the referee counting Boston Connor. The $1 Million Man turns his attention to A.J. Hawk, tags him with a couple of right hands. Turns his attention back to Boston Connor, slams him down to the canvas. And the $1 Million Man definitely makes his way out. Here comes John Bradshaw Layfield again. Boston Connor struggling to make his way to a standing position. JBL gets a hold of him. Locks him up. Hard whip to the ropes. JBL with the duck under. A leapfrog. And a clothesline from hell. That's going to be about it right there. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. And that is totally a wrap. Money Incorporated V2 defeats the Toxic Table.
Here's the time, 13 minutes and 56 seconds. And your winners, Money Incorporated V2.
The only thing you could credit the Toxic Table for would be endurance. It took DiBiase and JBL quite a nice chunk of time to end up winning this match, but they sure did. There's that clothesline from hell from JBL that took out Boston Connor for the 3-count pinfall. As Money Incorporated V2 picks up a second win, we'll be back with our main event featuring Macho Man Randy Savage, the United States Champion, right after this. And coming up as promised, tonight's main event, Macho Man Randy Savage defending the United States Championship against the Strongholds, the German technician, Stefan von Berger.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's Rage main event is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit, and it's for the RWL United States Championship. The challenger, along with Sylvia Strong, from Heidelberg, Germany, weighing 288 pounds, the German technician, Stefan von Berger.
Okay, Myron, I know how hard you're working to find someone worthy to take the U.S. title from Randy Savage, and I think using a former 2-time champ like Von Berger might just be the ticket, my guy. Sylvia's German technician, one half of the Insiders with Jake Blackwell, damn sure has the potential to make it finally happen. But there's just one thing.
What's that?
Please try not to, crash out like you did the last time. If the plan falls through, and Savage wins to retain the belt, please? I hate seeing you all keyed up like that.
No promises, Christy. No promises.
His opponent joined at ringside by Ronda Rousey, from Sarasota, Florida, weighing 256 pounds. He's the RWL US Champion, the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh, for reasons known only to himself, Too Short Popeye Scott Bell, conspicuous by his absence, being replaced at ringside by the most dangerous woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. What an unusual pairing. Ronda Rousey and the Macho Man, and Randy Savage is determined to hang on to that United States title.
Not that Von Berger has anything to say about it.
Hugh, seriously, Myron. Maybe you shouldn't be watching this one. Maybe you could go grab a little snack or something. I don't know if you're up for the excitement. I mean, I can already count the veins on your forehead.
Nothing doing, Christy. I'm not moving from this chair until this match is over.
Well, at the risk of adding a few more veins to the forehead count, Randy Savage has been absolutely insufferable since taking the United States title from Rob the Bod Whitley.
I'm not really that worried. I've got a really good feeling about Stefan von Berger.
Hey, we know how much this means to you. We really do. But just don't be too disappointed if it doesn't work out. There's gonna be plenty more opportunities if it doesn't.
Check out the gaze of intensity on Stefan von Berger. As this main event gets underway, Willie Johnson sounds the bell. They come center. Kick to the midsection, a chop, another chop. A jab from Randy Savage. Stefan von Berger catching a whole bunch of shots and then into a pile driver center ring. Randy Savage starting out quite viciously. The Macho Man steps out, steps back in, delivers another series of shots. Von Berger counters, rebounds off the ropes, a flying punch takes Savage down to the canvas. Von Berger countered by Randy Savage. Stefan von Berger shoves him away, gets back up on his feet, and immediately goes right back to work with the raining hard right hands on the head of the Macho Man. Von Berger locks up Savage, hard whip to the ropes, a collision with no result. Von Berger battering Savage against the ropes. The German technician, draping him between the top and middle ropes, starts driving knees right into the head of the Macho Man. And Von Berger calling for it, and boom! Big time kick, and out goes the Macho Man out onto the floor, writhing in pain. Referee Willie Johnson initiates the count as Von Berger steps outside, locks up Savage, gets him back inside the ring. Von Berger taking his time about getting back in there. Ronda Rousey, watch it. Oh, Savage starting to blow his cool already as Von Berger mocks the Macho Man. Von Berger back in the ring, locks up Randy Savage, has him up over the shoulder. But Savage counters into an inverted DDT. Follows it up with a stomp to the head of Stefan von Berger. And now Cedric clawing the face of the German technician. Sylvia Strong watching very closely. A U.S. Championship win for Von Berger would be a very big deal for the Stronghold indeed. Stefan von Berger rounds up Savage, opens up with a series of shots. Von Berger catches an eye gouge from Randy Savage. Another. Randy Savage determined to hang on to the United States Championship by any means necessary. Von Berger countered by Randy Savage with a kick to the leg. Savage with a vertical suplex on the German technician. And now raining hard right hands on the head of Stefan von Berger. Macho Man drives a knee right into the head of Von Berger. Savage takes himself all the way up to the top rope. Well executed crossbody. Savage slowly stands himself back up, immediately going right back to work on the German technician. Drives a knee right into the head of Stefan von Berger. Takes himself to the top turnbuckle one more time. Drives another knee right into the chest of the German technician. Stefan von Berger being hauled center ring by Randy Savage. Here's a cover. One. Just a one. Only just a one. Stefan von Berger being rounded up again by the Macho Man. Puts the brakes on Savage. Savage shoves him away. Moves in with a clothesline. Doesn't get it. Von Berger rounds him up over the shoulders. Takes a leisurely walk across town. Drops him head first into the turnbuckle. Rebound off the ropes. The moonsault. Beautifully done. Here's a cover. One. Two. But only a two. Randy Savage rounded back up. A beautiful karate kick, a series of chops and kicks from Stefan von Berger. Whoa, a series of running forearms. And whoa, man, Stefan von Berger really starting to open up with punches and kicks, taking Savage down to the canvas. The German technician escorting the Macho Man towards center. Turns him over. Rounds him. Whoa! Look at this. I thought he was going for a German suplex, but a submission right center ring. Willie Johnson checking things out as Sylvia Strong rallies Stefan Von Berger to victory here, possibly. Randy Savage managing to fight his way out of the hole. Back on his feet first. Locks up Von Berger. Sets him up. Gut wrench suplex from the Macho Man as Ronda Rousey looks on. Scott Bell wants nothing more than to see Macho Man retain the United States Championship. All the way up from the top, he's calling for that elbow drop, and there it is. This could be it right here. 1, 2, but no, Stefan Von Berger powering out of that pin. I'm not sure how he did it, but he sure did. The German technician being choked by the Macho Man. Randy Savage, with a blatant disregard of the rules, just choking Stefan Von Berger for all he's worth. Savage takes himself to the top turnbuckle one more time, and there's another driving knee across the chest of Stefan Von Berger. As this match starts to get away from him, he sweeps the leg on Savage, catches a counter kick. Von Berger catches another elbow from Savage. The Macho Man back up on his feet, follows up with a stomp to the midsection, and into a rear chin lock. Stefan Von Berger, this match starting to slowly get away from him. The United States Championship on the line here in tonight's main event. Macho Man Randy Savage wants to keep it, and Von Berger wants it. Randy Savage drives a knee into the side of the head of the German technician. Von Berger gathered up for an arm snap by the Macho Man. Savage rounded up again. Oh, a gouge to the eyes. And into a headlock and a headlock punch to Von Berger. A shot to the back of the head. Savage locks him up. Sets him up for another pile driver right in the middle of the ring. And Stefan Von Berger's not going to be able to endure too much more of those. Von Berger whipped out onto the apron. A clubbing right to the head and a dropkick takes the German technician out to the floor. Savage picks himself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. He's waiting for Von Berger to stand himself up. And here we go, double axe handle, does not find the mark. Von Berger nails him with a shot to the midsection. The German technician with a clubbing forearm right across the face of the Macho Man. A drop toe hold from Randy Savage. Takes Von Berger back down to the floor. The referee, of course, continuing to count. A driving knee right into the head. Von Berger puts on the brakes, turns it into a dragon screw. And now, whoa, Savage counters Von Berger. The Macho Man rounds up the German technician, locks him up, tried to drive him into the ring steps, but no good. Decides for an atomic drop instead. Savage rounds him up, and whoa, what a hard right to the head of the German technician. Randy Savage finally making his way back inside the ring. Von Berger shakes it off, rolls himself back inside. Savage gathers him up. A jawbreaker that takes Von Berger down near the far corner. As Savage makes his way to the top turnbuckle again. He's gonna go flying, and here it is. Another beautiful elbow drop. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2, and oh! Very close. Savage thought so too. But he's going to have to go back to start here as Von Berger starts to open up with a series of shots. Backs Macho Man off. Von Berger countered with elbows to the midsection from Savage. A kick. Von Berger counters with a kick of his own. Locks up the Macho Man. Takes him quickly down to the canvas. And whoa, here we go. Mounted punches, schoolyard bully style. Savage rounded back up again. Von Berger opens up with those running forearms again. Charges, and there's a spear. This could be it right here. Possible new champ. 1, 2, up. Are you kidding me? Randy Savage bucking the odds here again and finding his way out of a pin. Here's a beautiful middle rope moonsault from Von Berger. A man that size, he can sure fly. Stefan Von Berger decides to slow down the pace a little bit here as he starts to administer some serious punishment. to both the arms of Macho Man Randy Savage. Follows it up with a pair of driving knees into the back. Another to Sylvia Strong. Absolutely in all her glories at the moment as Macho Man starts to lose momentum in this matchup and the German technician starts to heat up. Stefan von Berger once again working the arms of the Macho Man. And another set of driving knees into the lower back. Savage gathered up by the German technician. Savage puts on the brakes, a clothesline, takes Von Berger down. Stefan von Berger catching knuckles to the temple from the Macho Man. And the momentum has shifted back and forth several times in this one. Von Berger counters with a kick, gets himself back up, delivers a jab to the midsection. And once more, Von Berger opens up with that wicked series of shots, followed up with that drop kick. Savage taken down to the canvas again. A wrist clutch knee to the head of the Macho Man. Von Berger going topside here. And here it goes. Driving knee right into the chest of Savage. Von Berger covers. 1, 2. Oh, so close yet so far. Referee Willie Johnson receiving a whole bunch of criticism for his counting. Von Berger countered by the Macho Man with a slap, a kick. Von Berger rounded up into a scoop slam as Macho Man opts to recover. 1, 2. Oh, so many near falls in this matchup. The United States Championship on the line here. Once more, Randy Savage takes himself to the top turnbuckle, and he's calling for the elbow drop once more. Boom! He misses it. Von Berger quickly out of the way. Savage counters with a shot to the midsection. Locks up Stefan von Berger. A knee right to the head, a kick right to the chest. And once more, Stefan von Berger down on the canvas as Macho Man starts to go to work. Drives a knee into the chest of the German technician, and yet another. Stefan von Berger on the receiving end of some bad business here. Here's a big-time elbow drop from the Macho Man. Savage back up on his feet, opts to go for the cover again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Randy Savage retaining the United States Championship by pinfall.
That miserable son of a bitch.
Here's the time, 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Your winner and still United States champion, Macho Man Randy Savage.
I'm really sorry, Myron. Really. Would you like me to go sit in your car with you for a little before we go home, babe?
I don't need to cry, Christy.
Myron, try to smile up. Christy's absolutely right. There will be other opportunities for you to relieve Macho Man Randy Savage of the United States Championship.
I gotta wait another whole goddamn month, Don. Another 30 days before I get another crack at that miserable bastard.
Okay, gang. Don's had to check out, so it falls to me to say, that's gonna be all for this edition of Rage. And we do want to thank all our viewers, subscribers, and guests for watching and supporting RWL Wrestling. We'll be back next time, Saturday night, July 26th, with a fresh RWL Snarl, with Wally Cardille, Johnny Bianco, and Tex Lynch. Okay, so for all of us here at Rage, this is your girl Christy Ogilvy, saying thank you for your time, this time, until next time. Night, y'all.